Hi Pre-Calc students, this is Ms. Trevsker and I will be completing your review today. So number one, we are starting off with a review of Unit 1. So if you get stuck on how to begin these, remember that you can go ahead and sketch your XY axis. Sorry, this pen is really hard to write with. And sketch the correct quadrant that these would be in. All right, so if we look at sine of 5 pi over 3, that is going to be in the fourth quadrant. Whoops, and that's going to be a 60-degree reference angle. Let's go ahead and draw it a little bit more appropriately. So if this is the 60-degree reference angle, I know the opposite is going to be negative root 3 over 2. And that's what it's asking me to find, the sine of 5 pi over 3, which is going to be negative root 3 over 2. Okay, then for B, we have the secant of 3 pi over 4. 3 pi over 4 is going to be in the second quadrant, and that's going to have a 45-degree reference angle. We know that opposite the 45 is root 2 over 2. Adjacent is negative root 2 over 2 with the hypotenuse of 1. So this is asking us to find the secant. That's the reciprocal of the cosine. So the cosine is negative root 2 over 2. When we take the reciprocal, rationalize the denominator, then we get negative root 2. All right, tangent of 3 pi over 2. 3 pi over 2, this is going to be 0. This is going to be pi over 2. This is pi. And this is 3 pi over 2. So the tangent of this point, well, first of all, this point is at 0, negative 1. Tangent is going to be sine over cosine. The sine of this value is negative 1. And the cosine 0, negative 1 over 0, that is going to be undefined. Okay, then lastly, I have the cotangent of pi over 3. So pi over 3 is a 60-degree reference angle. Sorry, these triangles are so bad. In the first quadrant. So the tangent, first let's talk about the tangent. So the tangent is going to be 1 over root 3. This is the 60-degree angle. Then opposite is going to be the square root of 3. My hypotenuse is 1. And my adjacent side, sorry, my hypotenuse is 2, my adjacent side is 1. So the cotangent is going to be cosine over sine. When we rationalize the denominator, we get root 3 over 3. All right, now on to Unit 2. So it says write the equation, oh boy. It says write the equation of the function given the following. So before I write the equation, I'm going to list what each of these stand for. So we want a secant function with a period of 4 pi. So remember that the period is 2 pi over b. My phase shift is 1, so phase shift, that is my c value. Vertical shift of 2, so that is my d value. So first let's go ahead and find the period. If the period is 4 pi equals 2 pi over b, okay, when we solve for b, we get b to equal 1/2. So my equation is going to be y equals secant of 1/2 times x minus 1, that's for my phase shift, plus 2. Okay, there's no asymptote, sorry, there is no amplitude change, and there is no reflection. All right, next is set a tangent function with a period of 3 pi. So remember, for tangent functions, the period is pi over b, and a vertical shift of negative 3. So that is going to be the d value. So if my period is 3 pi, equals pi over b. Let's go ahead and solve for b. You'll get b to equal 1/3. So my equation is going to be y equals tangent of 1/3 x minus 3. It's being shifted down 3 units. And it's being stretched. Okay. Last question for this one. Cosine function with an amplitude of 3. So amplitude, that's my A. Period of 2 pi. So remember we need to find our B. Phase shift of negative 2 pi. That's my C. And vertical shift of 1. That's my D. And reflected. So that's going to be a negative. So that has all 4 transformations. So let's go ahead and begin. So I have y equals negative 3 for my amplitude. Cosine. Now I need to look at the period. If the period is 2 pi,